Welcome back to Project Buddies. I'm on the road, but I thought I'd do a quick video on what projects I've done since I started the channel. So I think the first one I did was sort of the camper. That was a ongoing one. Nothing really new on that from the very last one I did. We really didn't take it out much, with the exception of my trip down to Kentucky. So hopefully next year we'll be able to get it out more, and maybe we'll find things that we need to do or whatever, or who knows what we'll do with it. The knob and tube wiring, one of my largest viewed video ever, which is surprisingly comical. Still have that ongoing. I only did the one video, but I still have lots of switches and outlets to do, so I'll be working on this in the winter. I try to do it in the fall and spring, but it's always still nice out, so I like to be out and doing other stuff, so I'll probably start working on that again this winter. I doubt I'm going to do any videos, but who knows. On the Thunderbird, it's an ongoing process. The car is fantastic. 30 years old. I've put, as of now, based on my little app I use, I've put on about 4,200 miles. No problems with the engine at all. It works flawlessly. You've seen all the videos on the things that I've done. I still need to do the, what's it called? The joints on the front. I'm drawing a blank right now. The steering is just a little off, maybe an inch on one side. So I'll work on that when the weather gets better. I don't like to work on outside in the cold, and it's getting cold in Ohio. Most of the other stuff that I need to do is just like piddly stuff. Some of it is things that I just like to have working. Whenever I have a vehicle, I like everything to be working the way that it was. So I have a mirror switch that doesn't work, but quite honestly, how often do you use your mirrors? So I don't know if I'll replace that switch or just leave it be. The passenger side automatic shoulder belt doesn't work. Surprisingly, there was a time that I shut the door on the car and it moved. So I know the system works. I just don't know why it's not constantly going back and forth. I checked the front A-pillar limit switch. It seems like it's working okay. It moves back and forth. And by jumpering it, it didn't move the thing forward. So I'm not sure what that is. I might have to dig into the actual unit in the trunk to see, maybe is there a wire that's just not connected very well, or maybe I'm missing a ground or something. The seat, I'm going to have to get back to the seat. I've got it set at the position that is comfortable for me to drive, but I'd like it to work. It moves up and down, but it won't move back and forth. So I'm probably going to take it out and just dig more into it, maybe take the motor system off and see if maybe there's something that is binding. That's what it seems to be, because you can hear the motor want to move, but it doesn't move the seat back, so it sort of seems like something's stuck. Gosh, what else is there? Cruise control. The cruise control doesn't work, which I really use my cruise control a lot. So this is going way back, old school, when you had cars that didn't have cruise control. So I think I've mentioned in the past that I bought a Thunderbird service manual, so it does a lot of troubleshooting of how you can test things. I just haven't gotten into looking at the switch on the bottom of the pedal, the switches on the steering wheel, etc. So I'm gonna get into that, but quite honestly, I just learned to drive and keep watching the speedometer. Talking of the speedometer, so the speedometer works, I noticed, based off the odometer app that I use, that tells me my speed. Speedometer's off probably about 3 miles per hour, so that's no big deal. The odometer still doesn't work. I'm thinking it might be what they call the vehicle speed sensor. I'm thinking that maybe one of the wires is just not sending a signal, or maybe the unit is bad, so where it will send the speed but it won't send the odometer reading. So I'm gonna look into that. The dash is cracked at one point up at the top, which happens with plastic or vinyl dashes, so I've actually got a cover that I found on eBay that I'm gonna get. It's on its way, so it'll be sort of one of those carpeted type ones. Some might think it looks tacky, but hey, it'll make the dash look better than it did. The fog light on the driver's side, it's like pushed back in a cavity, so I want to disconnect that. It works, but it's pushed back, so it really doesn't shine out very well. Not that I use fog lights very often, but I'd like to get that back into some sort of position. The radio that I put in, $15 from Amazon. I use Bluetooth a ton. It seems to work okay. Sometimes there's a delay in the audio, like when you're doing a map or whatever, but it's fine. You know, you think of all the gadgets that you get in the newer cars, and look at the cost of what your phone is. Your phone has a lot of power and it does a lot of things, and it is convenient having those Apple or Android CarPlay type displays, but quite honestly, I don't use it very often. Usually when I get in the car, I'll turn on a podcast or my map if I'm going on a trip like I am right now. And I just got it down on a little rubber non-stick pad, and I can just glance down for my map or whatever. So that's working fine. You know, sometimes it's if you just go back old school, I guess, as I call it, you can go back to those days and be like, yeah, I really don't need those things. Or, you know, your phone has tons of different things that you can use, as long as you just don't keep playing with it, because that's dangerous. But the car's been great. It's running fantastic. The gas mileage is great. I'm probably averaging about 25 miles per gallon, which maybe you don't think is great, but that's pretty good for a 6-cylinder car. I like it because it's different than anything else out on the road. So it's been a fun project per se. One other thing, there's a few dents in the hood. I've sort of popped them out a little bit, and then there's a dent in one of the fenders. I want to pop those out, so I'm going to try to do that myself. I looked at getting it painted. I could have got it painted and the dents repaired for maybe $3,000, but I don't know if that's worth it or not. I might look at doing a wrap later on. That might be a challenge, but it sort of seems like it might be fun. So I could start on the trunk and the roof and maybe the hood, see how that looks, and then work on the rest of it. But I want to figure out the cost of that. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you an update. I'm sure I'll have some other projects. I did do a project on the Wi-Fi at our home, and quite honestly, in the middle of it, I was like, oh, I should have probably done a project buddy on this one. But I think I'll go back and sort of show you what I did. But that's all I got. So I just want to say thanks for watching and subscribing, and I appreciate all the followers. I'm up to about 45 now, which doesn't seem like much, but it's pretty cool that people actually watch them. So thanks, and we hope to see you soon with a new project, buddy. Take care, and hope your holidays was fantastic, and that your Christmas and New Year is fantastic if I don't have a new one out by then. Take care. Bye-bye.